10 items. That is what I have for you today. My top 10 recommendations for the spring 2025 Sephora savings event, which begins April 4th. This is one of my favorite sales of the year. There have been so many amazing launches this spring. And so for today's top 10 list, I am going to share with you a mix of new products that I have already fallen in love with and products that have yet to be unseated as Holy Grail items. So if that sounds good to you, let's not waste any more time and let's talk about that first item, which is Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balms. Clearly, I love these. These are the four that I just have open right now. I have some others in my backup drawer. I have most recently picked up Birthday Cake. I absolutely love the scent of this one. It smells like a gooey butter cookie if you've ever tried one of those. I also currently have open Vanilla Beige, Pink Sugar, and Cherry, which has the most color out of any of these that I've shared with you. I keep these all over the place for a quick little pick-me-up, whether that's in terms of the color or enjoying the scent, adding a little bit of hydration to my lips. So these are my Holy Grail lip balms, and if you have not tried these and you are looking for something new to check out, I highly recommend these. Let's move on to brows, and I have two different products that I want to recommend to you today. One is for filling in, and the other is for really shaping your brows and locking them into place. In terms of the fill-in, I am recommending to you the Glossier Brow Flick pen. And this is a great product because it is one of these felt style liners. You can see just how fine of a point that could create. And if you pick this up, you can hear it's got a little ball in there so that you can mix the product up. It is best to store these tip side down so it's ready to go when you want to put it on. I did just quickly draw some little brow strokes here so you can see just how finely you can draw those strokes. So I highly recommend this pen if you have never tried this kind of product, want to try something other than a traditional pencil. And then for the brow shaping and locking into place, I am going to recommend another Holy Grail, which is the Rare Beauty Brow Gel. It's got this great, fine little spoolie, nice and tiny. It does not get dry and crusty and crunchy. It provides just the right amount of hold, and it really shapes and lifts and sets those hairs into place. I feel like Rare Beauty is so reasonably priced that as a brand, they have some amazing products that perform exceptionally well. And yet the prices are great. I mean, full price, this eyebrow gel is only $19 and it lasts a really long time. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. So if you're looking to try out a new eyebrow gel, or maybe you just need to restock, get out there and get your Rare Beauty eyebrow gel. Next up, let's talk complexion. I have some foundations that I have been using up as a part of my Project Pan. I also recently tested out a skin tint, but for today's video, I have got to recommend to you what is really my favorite foundation out of everything in my collection, and that is the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Medium Coverage Foundation. This is an absolutely beautiful product. It is medium coverage, and yet it doesn't feel heavy in any way. It goes on so smoothly, so beautifully. It is ultra comfortable. I find that it wears really well throughout the entire day, and it really helps blur and smooth out the complexion for a really gorgeous all-day luminous look. If you have not checked out this foundation, I would definitely recommend you add this one to cart once the sale starts. This is $49 regularly. I think you will love it. For concealer, another area where it's a part of Project Pan, I've been trying to work through some older products, but I am not going to recommend those to you today. Today, I am going to recommend to you the Tower 28 Swipe All Over Hydrating Serum Concealer. And it is that serum concealer piece that is so important and really sets this product apart because it does such a great job of providing the coverage that you need while also ensuring that your under eyes maintain really a more hydrated look. So it's weightless. I find it really easy to blend out. You don't need a lot. I simply place a dot on the inner and outer corners of my eyes and blend that out with my favorite concealer brush, the BK Beauty Kitten Paw. That's a part of the Angie Hot and Flashy line. It blends out beautifully. As I said, you don't need a lot. You can also use it for some spot concealing. And I think it is just absolutely beautiful. It is designed for sensitive skin, which I really like because my skin is on the more sensitive side. It is fragrance-free, alcohol-free, much like I was stating with Rare Beauty. I think that Tower 28 is another brand where I have multiple products that I have fallen in love with that perform exceptionally well and are priced very reasonably for that performance. So two brands really in today's video that I have to say have become really standout brands in my collection. So the Serum Concealer, if you haven't tried it, I highly recommend this one. Going back now to another Rare Beauty product, you guys, I have absolutely fallen in love with this new matte bouncy blush from Rare Beauty. You know, they did a really quick limited release. I managed to grab it then. So I've had it for a bit. I've been able to really thoroughly test this out. What I would say about this blush is that it is goof proof. It is a cream texture. Some people say it's really sort of like a putty. You can actually press your finger in. I am not doing that to my blush. On application, does transition into more of a powder. So you can apply this over or under powders, really depending on your preference for how you like to layer. But I like that it has that flexibility. I think this goes on absolutely beautifully. The shade that I got is Hope, which is a nude mauve. It does not emphasize texture. I think it just looks absolutely gorgeous and very natural on the skin. So if you have not tried this one out yet, this is one of the newer products that I mentioned that I have fallen in love with. I would highly recommend this one. You do not need a lot in order to achieve a lightly blushed look. I do not plan to pick up additional shades in the sale, and that is because I've seen some other beauty creators out here show swatches and then also application on their faces where a lot of these looked very similar on application. I would recommend that you pick up the shade that you think is going to look best for you and don't feel the need to buy multiples, especially if you're planning on picking up a couple of different blushes from different brands during the savings event. So, love this. $27. Before we move into eyes, I want to talk about my very favorite setting spray. This is the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray from Charlotte Tilbury. This is my holy grail setting spray. Just a couple of quick spritzes. It does a nice fine mist. It really helps my makeup sort of melt together, makes everything look more natural and blended, especially if you're someone who enjoys using powder like I do. It really helps bring everything together to life. It absolutely helps with the longevity of your makeup. So this is a great option. You cannot go wrong with this. I am going to be picking up some other setting sprays to test, but that's going to come in my next video, which is about what's in my shopping cart. So stay tuned for that. Let's talk eyes. I'm wondering if you guys can tell what I am wearing. This is the Natasha Denona Bloom palette. I absolutely love this palette, you guys. This is such a phenomenal palette for spring. Obviously, it's got these beautiful peachy and pink tones, but you also have some great shadows for deepening. So I think you can create nighttime looks. I like to use some of the deeper shades for a liner, a powder liner, which is what I did for today's look. You have a couple of great sort of, twinkly shades. For today's look, I took one of the peachy mattes and just quickly was able to run that through the crease. And then I laid down the lightest peach matte in the palette, just across the entire lid. I then took one of the sparkly sort of topper shades and placed that all over the top of that light peach. I wanted to deepen out the outer corner a little bit, so I picked up one of the darker mattes, not the darkest, and just dropped a little bit of that in before I picked up this sort of mauve-y, plummy matte and used that as an eyeliner. So I think this is a great palette for spring. You can create some really beautiful spring light looks. I think you can also create some great nighttime looks. So if you are looking for your next spring palette to try, I recommend Natasha Denona's Bloom palette. Next up on eyes, this is a holy grail. I am wearing it today. This is the Tower 28 Make Waves Mascara. I enjoy this in both black and the brown shade. This mascara is good for lengthening and creating volume. It's got great longevity. I don't have problems with flaking and smudging throughout the day. So if you have not tried the Tower 28 mascara, I definitely recommend that you check this one out during the savings event. That leaves us with just one more product. This is a newer product for me, but I think this one's been out a little bit, but it is one that has literally made me say wow. And that is this Color Wow Dream Coat Supernatural Spray Anti-Frizz Treatment. Let me tell you, if you don't know, I live in Memphis, okay? We deal with a lot of humidity. My hair can look pretty crazy, especially if there's a lot of moisture in the air. I do have to admit that today is one of those days. I have really been surprised. I try a ton of different products. A lot of products make a lot of big claims around making your hair shiny and cutting down on frizz. I have not found anything in quite some time that has given me the results of this product. I just have the mini here, which I'm glad it's just a mini because you really don't need a lot. We are going to get into warmer temperatures in more humid conditions. So I would highly recommend you check out this hair product as we get into those months. Those are my 10 products. Quick, down to business. I hope that these recommendations have helped you today make some of those difficult decisions about how to best use your money for this savings event. Even at the top tier, we are talking 20% off. So it's a great time to buy. Obviously, if you are in the market to pick up products anyway. I look forward to sharing with you in upcoming videos what's in my cart and what I actually buy. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.